Sauer again. Another special day for the Academy and a young Academy player signing pro contract with AFC Wimbledon. This time it's midfielder Anthony Hartigan. Just tell us about how the offer came about, your thought process in terms of signing that deal and what it means to you.
Well, my dad got a call last Friday about a meeting on Tuesday, and then because it was my birthday this Friday, so we kind of organised for me to sign a pro on my birthday, but I only found out on Tuesday, which is quite exciting.
And also the fact that you're the first player, I think, born in the 21st century to sign for AFC Wimbledon. That's quite an honour. How does that feel?
Yeah, it means a lot to think I've only started. Well, I've been here for 3 years, and I've never played academy football in my life. So yeah, it does. It's quite exciting. It means a lot.
Excellent, Jeremy. He's a special talent. He's regularly been on the Academy Goal of the Month. You must be delighted he wants to commit his future to AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah, we really are. It's worked out really, really well in terms of time of the FA Youth Cup. It's Ant's birthday today. I think you kind of mentioned that. So it's an all-round special day, really. Ant's been with us, like he said, for a few years now, and we kind of recognised that potential quite early on. As he mentioned just now, he kind of come out of nowhere, really. Local league, which is great. We signed him from a coaching company, actually, and he was playing striker for them. I don't think you played much midfield before that, had you? So he slid into midfield and kind of went from there, really, and took it to like a duck to water, really. And the test for us is always, we know they've got potential once they're 15, 16. We know they've got, lots of ability potentially to go forward and progress. But once they get into the under-18s, it's a full-time programme. So for us, and Anthony's a first year, it's always about looking at how they adapt to that full-time environment, how they, manage themselves around first-team staff, 21 staff, senior players. And Ant's done that brilliantly. So, we gave him that little transition for the first few months, knowing really that if he fulfills that part of it, there's a pro contract there for him, because he really can run a midfield, and he does that at 16 years old. And like you said, he's been scoring goals galore for us from midfield. You're on 11 or 12 this year?
Yeah, 11.
So, he's different sort of goals from Alpha Egan. Like you said, they're more goal of the month ones from outside the area and set piece. But there's plenty of ability in those feet for sure.
But also, Anthony, Mark Robinson, your under-18s coach, he's described you as Trevor Brooking as well. For perhaps some of our older generation will remember Trevor Brooking, but for yourself, who do you compare and sort of base your game upon, and what are the things that attract you to their game?
I like watching Tony Cruz. I just think he protects the ball well. He's quite not mobile, but he can get around the pitch. He's got a good passing range and a good shot. So.
Excellent. What are the strong points you'd say of your own game, and also what have Neil Ardley and the coaching staff said they want you to work upon?
I think my best attribute is probably passing. I need to work on my heading, my tackling, and I need to be able to get around the pitch. So someone like Jake Reeves, he runs about the pitch and he's quick and he turns the gaffer's just said to me, like, he's seen me playing a 3 and he wants to see me to play in a 2 and to play at the top of a 3. So like in more of an attacking role.
Interesting stuff for looking ahead there. But also, you've scored some pretty spectacular goals in your time. So I remember the one in the Youth Alliance League game against Gillingham, lobbing the keeper from the halfway line. Is it something that kind of comes instinctively, or does the coaching staff kind of encourage that out of you as well when you feel you can do it?
Yeah, I think Robbo and James don't mind me doing it, but I think it is more instinctively, because like if I see it's on, then I'll do it, or I'll try to do it. But yeah, I think it's more instinctive.
I think it's instinctive, because I'm not sure any of us could demo it. So I think and you've done a few before that, haven't you? You had that one at Barnet, yeah, exactly.
Twice.
So, yeah.
But then, of course, as well, I mean, one of the reasons we're on this FA Youth Cup run at the moment is you scored the penalty in the dying moments of the game up at Huddersfield. How do you get through a situation like that? How do you cope with the pressure of that situation?
I don't know, really. I don't know how I've done it. It was just kind of, if I score this, we win the game. And I just focused. I didn't change my mind. I just stuck. I knew where I was going to put the penalty in and done it. So
excellent. Yeah, we're very glad you did. And Jeremy, just talking about the fact that the last time we were in here, we spoke to Joe Bursick when he signed his pro deal as well. And we looked at the coaching staff then, likes of Andy Little and Jordan Knight as well. I suppose this is sort of like Michael Hamilton getting through the 16s and a few others as well.
Yeah, definitely, and it's so worth recognising that, because obviously you normally, and the fans normally, see these guys when they're under 18s, and they're always working with Mark and James. And of course, Mark and James have had such a big influence on Anthony's transition into sort of professional full-time football. But before that, Michael Hamilton, who's the under-16s coach, he looked after Ant for a couple of years at 15s and 16s, and gave him the perfect preparation really for under 18s. That's why that transition's gone very smoothly. So fair play to him. And even before that, actually, you signed at under 14s. I don't know if you remember, but James Scott was your coach then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he was actually the one who spotted and playing against us for Pro Direct Soccer, I think it
Yeah.
was, a coaching company, and he was, you know, the one who said, look, Jeremy and Robbo, you've got to have a look at this lad, let's get him in. So fair play, you know, it's great that we can make sure that everyone in our whole pathway in terms of staffing get a little bit of credit for the boys that come through, because often it's sort of the glory at the top, you know, and there's a lot of hard work going on underneath it.
Absolutely, and we've seen in the past when we've had the FA Youth Cup games here, the fantastic turnout of all the academy that have come and supported the side, and we're building up to that big game next Wednesday at Preston. What's the feeling behind the academy now on this one?
Yeah, again, you know, 2 years running getting to the last 16 is a huge achievement. We've got to always look at how we can keep on improving. So for us, this last couple of years, we've been trying to foster underneath that, you know, a real belief, a real confidence, and get as much learning into our younger players. So tomorrow, for instance, the boys are playing Milton Keynes, and we're bringing our under-14s down to watch them. So the under-14s will buddy up, and you know, one of the lads will be with Ant, and he'll be watching Ant's game, a centre midfielder from the under-14s, and Ant can talk him through. So it's that process of nurture underneath. So we're preparing those younger players to be in Ant's position in a couple of years' time, you know, and that goes all the way through. The feeling, though, you know, when you're talking to parents and you're talking to players, it paints a picture of a pathway, you know. It gives everyone a belief that they can go and do it themselves. So having that in the academy helps with your recruitment, helps with retention, helps with everyone getting the best out of themselves. It motivates staff as well, because staff feel a buzz around it and they get to talk to other people in the industry about the FA Youth Cup success. So there's obviously, I know it's a cliche, but there is a buzz. There is a real buzz around what we're doing right now, and the draws just come out for the next round if we were to get through, which is Stoke or Brighton down here. However, you know, that sounds enticing that we might even have a chance there, but we're trying to desperately keep our minds only on Preston, because they've beaten Everton, Sheffield United, great academies. We've got a real, you know, hard job on Wednesday night, so all our focus is on that at the moment.
It's just the final word, I think, with Anthony as well, leading up to this big FA Youth Cup tie. Last 16 up at Preston next Wednesday. How's the preparation been going? Particularly, you've got all the resources you've got at Southfield's Academy behind you as well now.
Yeah, it's been really good. I think the boys are just sticking to the plan Robbo and James have given us. I don't think we had the best of sessions today, but it weren't the worst. It weren't the worst it's ever been. So it's all about preparing and doing the right things and building up to the game.
Absolutely, Anthony, Jeremy, thanks very much indeed for your time, and
Thanks, guys.
congratulations.
Cheers.